I want to share some thoughts about what I hear many people say, both in life coaching and in dog coaching, is if I only knew this when I got my dog, or if I only knew this a couple of years ago, or this feeling of what a shame, or regret, or really these lower frequency feelings that kind of puts us into a leap of other low frequency feelings. What I mean is feelings that doesn't really make us happy, or not necessarily positive, but more neutral, because we people have a tendency to go on the barometer, like very sad, very high, highs and lows. And actually what is most beneficial to us is kind of to stay in the middle, in the neutral area. That's like the dogs. They are very much in the neutral area if they're stress free. If they are very hyperactive, they're jumping, they're like, and you're like, hi, and the dog is like jumping at you. That's not a natural behavior to the dog, because instinctively, the dog knows that this kind of behavior might attract attention, which is not a good idea if you live in the forest, like where I sit right now, because then another pack might come and attack you, or you might get seen from another pack, or there's maybe a pack member telling you off, like, oh, what are you doing? You're too loud. So this video has many subjects in it, I feel already, but this neutral area I'm talking about, positive, negative, and then we go back to the neutral. If you're a yogi, you kind of know this as well, because we talk about that a lot in the yogic traditions, especially Kundalini yogi, as I teach. It's like a neutral way. It doesn't mean that you're indifferent. It just means that you're observing. So what we want to teach the dogs is to observe, is to be present, not like, oh, we have to go now, we can't stand still in the walk, they're barking at you, they're pulling on the lead, they cannot, they're just lying at home hiding because they're like in a freeze moment, like a freeze mode, they're so stressed, they're just pretending they're not here. That's another way a dog can show that it has stress. So the more neutral, it doesn't mean that a dog that is more or less stress-free is not a happy dog, is not like, you see my dog here, she's quite like that kind of energy, but she can very easily jump into this, I wouldn't say monster, but this creature that's jumping and trying to like get people to fall on the floor, because she has had that experience when she was younger. People say, oh, Mojo, she'll be like jumping and woo woo woo. So it's very important to have this natural dog language, the mission bonding method, with you when you work with these kind of dogs. And the other one, Mooney here, she was more afraid. She didn't like people because she didn't trust people, because people would go up in her face and they would try to bribe her with a treat and pet her head, and she was like, oh, don't do that. In a kennel, as she was in the rescue before she came to me. So she's very much about personal space. So all dogs, they understand the same level of information, but they have different personalities. And what I was saying in the beginning about us people, dog owners, saying, oh, I wish I knew this from the beginning. It's kind of like, oh, it's such a long way back to this neutral place, because I have a lot of problems with my dog right now. I would say it's more a way of recognizing that, I like this method. I mean, I wish I had this method when I bought my dog, my first dog. I wish I knew this method, because then I wouldn't have had all the trouble I had with her. But again, I wouldn't have understood all the things I understand now about dog communication. And she was 10 years old when I educated myself in this method. So we people have a tendency maybe to hang on to the past, things that happened. I'm not saying the past is not important. It's just animals are much more in the present moment. These two dogs are not thinking about someone tried to pet me at the rescue center, I got scared, or I used to be a dog that couldn't go for a walk without jumping and going crazy. They're just right now hanging out in the woods, just, now. So the more we people can kind of copy that, copy that behavior. Copy that behavior and just go and sit wherever. Doesn't even have to go far out in nature. It could be on a bench somewhere, or just have a little time to think. And especially if you're reviewing your dog ownership and your dog life and you feel like, shit, I made so many mistakes. Well, we all did. I mean, someone says like we all walk in each other home, but we're all at the same level. We just have to stop judging everybody, judging ourselves, and keep on with the work, you know? Do the work. Do the work, and your everyday life will change already tomorrow. You might get a few questions from your dog or your friends or whatever you're changing in your life. Because when you put boundaries, people and animals are going to ask you, why are you doing that? You know, why can't I get the thing I used to get from you? So it is a work. We have to discipline ourselves. It is a job we do when we decide consciously to change our life, change the way we communicate to whomever is around us. And I always say it's a detox, really. It's kind of like a detox. Sometimes I compare it to someone who has been addicted to drugs and they don't get their fix anymore. People are used to getting things from you all the time for free. They will complain a little bit when you don't give them the things for free because they're used to getting their fix. I'm talking about energy here. And the same with the dogs. A dog that is used to having a position in the pack where it tells people off, it jumps at people, it barks at home, it steals food from the table, whatever behavior it has certain opinions about you suddenly changing the language. So there's always going to be a little bit of work. But I mean, hey, there's always a work in life, right? Every day you choose to walk somewhere, I mean, things happen. So whenever we say, I wish I've known this before, I like when people say that. And sometimes I feel like, what is the feeling around that when you say it? Because if you feel like, but now I'm going to do the right thing, perfect. But if you linger in that feeling, oh, I didn't do the right thing, I feel guilty, my dog suffered, I suffered, it was embarrassing that people saw me this way, you can go down that roller coaster. I mean, easily. We can easily go down that roller coaster in this world because there's a lot of things to show us that that roller coaster is existing. But if you go the other way around and say, okay, I wish I've known this before, now I'm gonna actually commit myself to trying out this method or trying out this new plan in my life, whatever it may be, maybe new food or exercise or whatever, and see where it takes me. And of course, also align with people who has the same kind of mindset. It's very important, and energy. So thank you for listening. Have a beautiful day.